All right, guys, we are back here at Kings of Storm 3. Round 1 is now pretty much complete. There's one game still going on. And our draft is about to be starting here, so we're just going to hop on over to look at the bracket really quick here. We can see that as it loads up, Symbiote is going to be advancing over Dream State. Wildfire just advanced over Evil Geniuses, as we saw here on this stream. Tuark, Iliad, and Tempest still underway.
Yep.
They had a game crash, I believe. And Glorious versus Clairvoyant. Glorious did advance over. Now, again, there is a loser's bracket. To see the full bracket, go to KOTS.challenge.com. But we're going to hop on over to the draft as we see the first pick was done by SMG, and they have Tassadar the bands.
And the bands are Tychus for SMG and Abathur for Wildfire. And, of course, we have first pick on Tassadar. Pretty standard. Very, very strong hero, so not surprised to see that.
Yeah, nothing crazy just yet. I mean, this is some pretty standard stuff here. As we expected to see, this is in fact a best of 3 series here in round number 2 of the winners bracket. And yeah, again, like you said, pretty standard stuff coming out of SMG, and it looks like Anub Rhaegar will be the picks. Uther and Arthas for Wildfire, and the immediate response of Anub Rhaegar coming out for SMG here.
Yeah.
So quick, SMG. You said you sat in and listened to some of their drafts during the scrims the other day.
And they're very, very on point in terms of, we're pretty sure they're going to pick this and this, in which case we're going to do this and this. So you're definitely going to see that anytime you see these guys drafting. They're just boom, 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 pulling the trigger immediate with their draft responses.
Yeah, it's really quite impressive at how quickly they actually manage to respond with that kind of stuff.
Okay, so of course they have the very obvious Archon Bloodlust potential with the Rhaegar Tassadar.
Yeah, especially with the Nubrak, I mean, getting in, but at the same time, we've seen the Nubrak paired with Ancestral Healing pretty often. But more often than less, SMG leans towards Bloodlust.
Yes. So typically you won't see Arthas and Nubrak on the same team unless there's weird things going on with the drafting. These two heroes are super strong right now, definitely the best tanks in the game.
So if they want
each
another
team just switch between the two, that's perfectly expected.
And we actually have a pickup on Falstad and Raynor for SMG, but before that we had Tyrael and Nova picked up here on the side of ESV Wildfire, so they're sitting at a really nice lineup so far already. Arthas, Uther, Tyrael, and Nova for Wildfire, but on the other side of things,
Jake, do you see what I see?
I do see. We actually have a really scary comp here.
I like this. We're seeing Raynor Rhaegar.
You know, I like it a lot.
We haven't seen too much of it.
It's uncommon, but it leads me to really look at this as a Lust comp.
So, all right, so yeah, again, we don't see too much Raynor. Typically, he's built very auto attack, 6 searing attacks, takes Berserk at 16. So he's got really, really strong auto attacks.
His burst for his AA, and you give him that extra mobility and damage with Lust, he just kind of rips through things.
Yep, and on top of that, of course, we have Dread with the lockdown. That's what that's what Raynor needs. He needs someone to be still, and if he can just unload on them with his autos for like 5 seconds, gone.
And you consider there's an Archon in the mix and Shock and Oz and all that stuff. There's a lot of damage here available for a Symbiote.
Hammer.
A lot of damage. And wow, Hammer.
Okay. Strange. Overall, I like it though. It's gonna be a fun game. Hammer on Dragonshire. Perhaps they've just been practicing with Hammer and they feel very comfortable playing her. I don't feel as though she has any particular advantage on this map over any others. Let me look at the rest of the picks, see if there's any synergies that I'm missing. Nothing immediately obvious, but yeah, we'll see how this plays out.
Well, we have both of our compositions ready. Once again, I just want to give a shout-outs to our sponsors, Kitten of the Storm and CST, for making this event possible. Having that prizing is really nice for the players because there's not a lot of opportunity in the scene quite yet. We'll get there. But the game's ready, and I think it's about time we get in. So
absolutely.
We're going to send the GLHF out. Yeah, we're seeing Hammer. You got to be. This is like
I love Hammer. Yeah, if you guys don't know, I'm a long-time Hammer supporter, and it's been an up-and-down life for me.
We got the ready, SMG ready. But just make sure before I throw them under the bus. If somebody stepped up to get some water, want to make sure the players are good to go. Dread gives the ready. On we go, guys. Here's going to be game number 1 of this best of 3 series, round 2 between Symbiote Gaming and ESV Wildfire.
I'm so excited. So excited. All right, so
Dragonshire.
Lately, Dragonshire. In terms of which team comp I feel is going to... These are both sort of fighty comps, I will say. They're looking to definitely go for not any stall tactics or anything like that. They're going to be fighting over the objectives. I don't feel as though one team's going to really be looking to take anything type of crazy, but of course I would have to give the draft certainly to SMG, unless they have some kind of crazy tactics with Hammer that I'm not aware of. Special tactics.
Well, we got the Money Pig hype here, as always. SMG, this is their classic thing, and as we introduce them really quickly, we have Matt Timmy playing Rhaegar, KO playing Falsehead, Arthalon on the Rainer. Ooh, that skin, so nice. The Golden Pig here, Soldier as Tassadar, and last but not least, we have Dreadnought rocking the Cyber-Rack.
No pig.
No pig.
Okay, and of course on ESV Wildfire, we have Techie on Hammer, War Greymon on Nova, Iacona on Uther, and Arthas, Pickles in mid, and Tyrael for Poom, top lane.
Poom always rocking the tanks here. He's riding his My Little Goatee, and you know he's got the Tyrael skin here. Tyrael, not a hero that I see him play that often. He tends to play a lot of the other I don't always look at as Tyrael as like a tank. He's more of like an initiator.
Course,
like he's definitely a frontliner, but he's not. He doesn't have that massive health pool that a lot of the other guys do. But he does have the shielding that makes up for it. So I'm excited to see what he can do with his Tyrael, because of course we've seen it before, but it's a different beast out of him. I want to see his Diablo. It just makes me sad when I don't see his Diablo pick, but they're playing to win here, and of course you know we saw that versus EG. They played very well.
Double seasoned marksman for SMG.
Rainer and Falstead, huh?
Yes. Yes, so like we saw Bride last game on Falstead, we're going to go a little bit of a different route and take the season marksman. It's interesting. We'll see how it plays out.
We will see indeed. Well, all the lanes here are pretty standard. Triple bottom again at the start here for both teams.
Yeah, it's interesting. I guess they maybe feel as though if they take a solid lead, perhaps having the control over the Giants down there is interesting.
Yeah, that's exactly the mentality. I mean, when you consider there's 3 mercenary camps that push one lane,
yeah,
there's a lot of value in pushing that lane, because at any point in time you can get that triple giant push, or the 6 giant push, and it really just does a lot of work. So you always want to make sure you can get as much work out there, and it's developed. Matt Timmy taking a lot of damage here. He needs to back on up. The healing work goes down. He's going to be falling back. He's going to be able to live through this just barely. But, you know, nicely done by War Greymon. His Nova is looking quite scary here in both these games. The Master Skin. He is a Nova Master.
Nova champ here. And, of course, top lane we see that Dreadnought is looks like losing that shrine to Poom. It's not too surprising. Like I was mentioning earlier, Tyrael is quite a good laner. Nubarak's pretty good too, but Tyrael's and Tassadar are known to be some of the best laners in the game, so that does not surprise me.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Tyrael is absolutely terrifying in lane. Last game we actually saw EG with the Tyrael. This game we see Wildfire on the other side of the map rocking Tyrael instead of Chen. I like it. I like it a lot. No stitches as well for them, but you know, both shrines being controlled here by Wildfire for a little bit, and SMG is going to take it a little back here in the bottom lane. Now, no one in SMG is even soaking the middle lane right now. So that's something to note, but we see Soldier actually really getting right back up before he loses any experience at all. And he's going to just go right on in and make sure he soaks his lane effectively.
Yep. And we do see that Arthalon on Rainer, he has taken the, I believe that is the range upgrade on his auto attack. So yep, he's going, I presume, full auto here. So I would expect to see a Bloodless comp. No doubt.
Yeah, I like that by Arth. You know, a lot of people will wait to use it. He used it immediately as he saw Pickles might be able to get the lockdown down. Just getting him just out of the range of that Howling Blast from Arthas. And Soldier rotating down and sees that Pickles has rotated down as well. Both trying in control for Wildfire here, but Matt Tim taking a lot of damage. He's actually going to fall from the dot here. Ooh, oh my goodness, yeah, the Feral Heart on Rhaegar, the talent that gives him additional healing when he's in wolf form, not going to be enough to save him. That's just a Nova clone that fell, not a player. The Shrine's going to be capped here to defend here, and no Dragonite in favor of Wildfire. But they got to kill. They got to kill.
Yeah,
they've got, even on levels, slight lead for Wildfire.
Pretty interesting that they did end up getting the kill, but I would say that the damage output overall was in favor of SMG because we saw Wildfire back up. They had to just give up position. We said, okay, we don't actually have enough health. If we do try to contest the Shrine, we're going to lose people.
Yeah, and like you said, though, we got double season marksman here for SMG, so the longer the game goes on, the scarier SMG's comp gets because every, you know, Wildfire, or excuse me, the stacks you get from the season marksman on both Arthas and Falstad make them increasingly stronger throughout the game. So farming those minions will continue to make them stronger and stronger. It looks like Giants were a little point of contention for a brief moment there, but they are not going to be taken at this point in the game. And the lanes have pretty much resumed to their normal state as War Greymon and Techie getting kind of low here, got to back up. Yep. Now, having a Falstad, or excuse me, Falstad does a lot of damage, but having a Rhaegar provides so much sustainability because he can keep his mana pool up by just sitting in wolf form. You see the Feral Heart here. It's become a very common pick for Rhaegar players, realizing they can just kind of sit in the back lines and have essentially unlimited mana over time, as long as they just kind of stay regenerating their mana. So it's a nice part of Rhaegar. But we see both shrines are active here for Wildfire. Soldier taking a lot of damage, but he's going to go on into his phase form, but he's actually going to fall as multiple members of ESV rotate down and secure the kill there. Dreadnought manages to cap the top shrine during all of that, and it looks like Mad Timmy will be capping the bottom shrine, but again, if you have both shrines, doesn't mean you guarantee you the dragon.
This is true. It will be worth it if they do manage to cap the dragon, like you said. But I will say it's a little bit unlike SMG to not necessarily have a gist on where the other team is rotating to if they're not making a trade of some sort. So I was a bit surprised to see that.
Yeah, I heard that sound effect, and I actually thought the dragon was being capped. I was like, how? What? What did I miss? Like, what is happening? But no, I got juked by the game. Bottom shrine was recapped here for Wildfire. Top shrine still in favor of Symbiote Gaming here. Mad Timmy and Arthalon just kind of posturing to try to grab it here by Iacona. I'm not going to let that happen. And
we're looking at the race to 10 right now.
Yeah.
ESV, Wildfire in the lead for sure. And that 10 talents, those heroics are so strong in terms of team fight. You might even see them get really, really aggressive. Certainly there's going to be a lot of people rotating up. They're going to look to get kills.
They're going to look to get kills for sure, but both players are just kind of posturing for right now. Know anybody that's interested in playing Sergeant Hammer. He's pretty uncommon in competitive play. He has not sieged up once, I don't think. People play Hammer as a battle tank. Siege mode is pretty uncommonly used in the current meta of the game, the current state of build
It's
of Hammer.
good if they leave you alone.
It's situational. It's very situational. It's very risky to get in tank mode.
Yeah, in this game, I don't think we're going to see that too often. It's going to be definitely a brawler type fight for game for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. Especially when you consider how much damage output is available for SMG. That Hammer needs to play relatively passively. We see both shrines still active here for Wildfire. They're posturing in the middle. Pickle's taking a lot of damage here, though. Rainer's in the front lines. He has Army of the Dead. The Judgment going down on Soldier. Soldier's going to have to back up here. The Banshee's doing a lot of work. Dreadnought in the front line, throwing down a huge impale. Wargreymon is going to be taking a lot of damage, but he's actually going to be able to get out of there. Iacona backing on up. Nobody has died just yet, but so many people are so very low. Techie's got to be careful because if multiple members of SMG try to surround him, they're going to go for Arthalon, taking a ton of damage, but we see them rotating down here. SMG going to be trying to cap this bottom shrine here. The Dragon Knight is not going to be capped by Wildfire, and Iacona is going to be taking a lot of damage here as Mad Timmy and Dreadnought are going to be available. Is Dread going to go for the burrow charge? Is he going to try to get the stun here? Nope, he's not opting for it. He's kind of worried that players might be rotating down. Top shrine taken for SMG again, and both shrines are active for them, but Wildfire immediately just responding and grabbing this bottom shrine. Everywhere action on the map right now, and actually Tassadar fell. Completely missed it. Not even sure where he was in that fight. Just stuff happening everywhere on the map. So that's certainly that's not good. Both shrines are captured for Wildfire, and Symbiote's down to fire.
It's all about keeping track of that Nova. Because she's stealth and you have no idea where she is, she's rotating around. Falstad is very squishy. You can lose track of her for just a minute and boom, get erased if you're not paying attention. So that's certainly what we must have seen there.
Well, Dread is trying his best to defend this KO, and Dread both are available to defend here. Pickles was going to try to capture the shrine, and we see Dread rotating right on up here to try to cap this, as Poom just barely misses him, but as the creep wave sees him, Poom rotates back up. Rainer fell as well. Wow, a lot of damage coming out here in this bottom lane, and we see they're actually just shifting around. Mad Timmy is getting kind of bold, backing right on up here, and the Precision Strike almost getting KO as well. Wargreymon is on a mission here.
Yep. So yes, he has taken the Dragon Knight. Looks like he will be rotating up to top lane here. And it should be interesting to see how, if they want to just dive in to try and get a fight. They certainly will need to wait for the Rainer to get up there. But
yeah, I mean, like you said, just the Dragon Knight, nicely done. They got a few kills there. I mean, Wildfire has taken the level advantage. They have the map advantage now because the Dragon Knight's going to get a lot of work down here. Don't know if we'll be able to get this top 4, as all the members are back alive again. A Clairvoyance going down here for ESV Wildfire to make sure that nobody's trying to do something cheeky here on the side of Symbiote Gaming. Symbiote not overreacting. They're making sure they continue to soak all 3 lanes. They realize that they're already behind in levels. They don't want to be down into level advantage as the game goes on. Don't want to be down in talents. And Arthur's tapping them well here. Pickles, though, using the Dragon Knight really intelligently, just making sure he gets max value burning down the queue. You're going to get this fort and just kind of fall back with it. You've got 12
won't
seconds.
even get that much,
Yeah, well, doesn't even get it. It'll fall to those minions. But
Still, though, I like that they got the timer down to about 10 seconds or so they didn't run in too hard.
Yep.
Just took what damage they could, backed up, didn't lose anybody for overextending or anything like that.
Where did that Rhaegar die? I guess it met Timmy in the bottom lane. He just got a little bit too forward. We can see the Raynor did incredible push here. Techie just pushed down this entire wall. Met Timmy trying to defend, and the Nova just walked in and killed him. He missed it completely. And another kill on Tassadar there. Wildfire is everywhere, ganking. I can't keep up with them.
Yeah, they're doing really good job with the map presence. And it's funny because every time we're like, oh, what? Someone just died. We just look down and we see the Nova walking away.
Yeah.
And certainly you can just make the assumption that Nova is just have good map presence, caught somebody out of position. Boom.
Big judgment followed by the precision strike here, and they're actually just going to delete the false head from the match here. I mean, this is really dominant play by Wildfire. They used to be undefeated in some of the leagues here, and then we saw some kind of subpar play from them in tournaments.
Yeah,
like,
they look okay. They look
okay.
Results they were getting before.
But, like, I don't know what they did. Did they sit back at BlizzCon and just study for a week? Like, they're looking really good in this tournament so far. I mean, they're up in this match against Symbiote, who has only lost a total of 4 competitive matches in their competitive career here in Heroes of the Storm.
Yep.
And they have a nice lead. Now, the game is far from over at this point.
How many times have we seen this? SMG sort of losing maybe in the mid game.
That's a great point.
Bam, they make the snap call, they go in, they just ace the entire other team, and just go in SMG the core, as everybody likes to call it. So, of course, the game's not over till it's over.
It's not over till it's over, indeed. We've seen games where the core is at 1%, and the enemy team just comes back and walks across the map and ends it. So it's like you said.
Yep.
Anything can happen, but right now it's looking really good. The talent advantage in favor of ESV Wildfire.
Sure.
The map advantage in favor of them as well. SMG is going to try to put a lot of pressure here on this bottom court. So they're going to get the boom in the front line. Are all the heroics available?
Everything but Judgment. So, of course, just a couple seconds on that. Of course, we expect to see them use that to initiate.
Looks like it's actually back up. It is. Ready to roll here, so the initiation is available if they want it. Iacona taking a decent amount of damage here. The Storm's going down, but Soldier is very low and needs to be playing a little bit passively. His Archon is pretty much just going to get timed out. And without the Archon available, I don't think SMG can take this fight.
Definitely a bit of a premature usage of that, at least without the initiation for sure. So now they're back up. They're going to have to be playing very passively from here on out. I would say that the big heroics that you guys should look for in terms of initiation from each team is definitely the Bloodlust. Of course, the auxiliary heroics, Archon is important, but Bloodlust is going to be their big damage dealer, and then Judgment material. That's always going to be the one that ESV Wildfire will use to start the fights.
Again, notice Forkgrave Mine was actually just leading the charge there, like just walking right up and just unloading on the Tassadar player. Just seeing exactly how much he can get done. And we saw Dreadnought immediately just burrow charge away, saying, you know what, we took too much damage, we're not postured to fight this, we're leaving.
Yeah.
And just doesn't even second guess it, uses burrow charge to make sure he gets out safely.
Very reserved play for sure.
Oh my goodness, absolutely just deleting him. The multiple stuns coming down, Boom going to the back line, make sure KO can get a lot of value. Shockanaw getting a ton of work done, but does it matter? The damage output for Wildfire is just insane. Like their decision making. The targets, if Arthlon lives here, though, that's a nice big win for them here, but we actually see Tassadar falls in the back end. Wildfire.
They're forcing positions. I think that's the big thing here. SMG will certainly win team fights if they get everything set up properly. And the thing is, I think Wildfire realizes that, and they say, okay, we need to just catch one person out of position and then sort of roll the fight in our favor based on that. If we can let them not be set up for the fight for the Bloodlust, for the Archon, Raynor in the right position to unload tons of damage, that's how they're going to win these team fights, and I think they're playing it out really well.
I just want to point out how quickly Poom used that judgment. He didn't think at all. The second he had his eye on Falstad, he said, he's mine. And he just went in and said, I'm pushing you out of this fight one way or another.
Yeah.
Shockanaw did a lot of damage, but the sustain was there for ESV Wildfire, keeping them up. And this not only did it secure 3 kills, but it secured a Dragonite.
And they've been pushing with this advantage.
Constantly.
Look at this, two levels ahead. They are really dominating this game.
SMG, just a tick away from hitting level 16 and getting those 16 talents. They really need those talents right now. There it is. So now they're on evil footing in terms of talent, but still down 2 levels, more than 2 levels at this point in the game. And the Dragonite doing a lot of work.
Yep, very, very standard stuff taken from SMG. Rewind on an Uber-Rack. Obviously, it's really, really good to just rewind all of the stuns. He gets an extra better barbs going down. He gets an extra burrow charge. All really, really good to just sort of keep control of the team fight.
Yeah, well, Poom's going in the front here. The Dragon is down to just 3 seconds. Can see how much damage he can get done. Just knock this wall down the best he can. He's not too afraid, but they're actually just going to opt to back up here.
Really good. I like the fact that they're not overextending. I think they're learning from the mistakes that they had last game. Even though they won against CG, a couple of times where things looked a little bit scary was when they were overextending. So they're taking that lesson to heart and saying, well, let's take it to the long game here. There's a lot of opportunities for us to throw. There's always situations where you can just get your whole team ace and lose the game, especially against SMG.
And like you said, forcing positioning every time, giving SMG time to set up. They're going to be able to take amazing positioning. They're very well known for their ability to team fight, and they're just not allowing SMG to get in those proper positioning. And then in that kind of scenario there, SMG could do exactly what they would want.
I really like what they're doing here. They're not prioritizing the night camp. They said, we realize that there's some good value here in the Giants here. 4 Giant push, especially when they have the level lead. They're jumping into 19 right now. It's really scary for SMG to engage on this. If they just slow play, slow push out the Giants, I wouldn't be surprised if they could keep up this.
Well, we see Techie is very far forward with his hammer here, just kind of walking around with his Giants. He's not going to get too bold, though, as he's moving right on back. We see multiple members of Wildfire just kind of ping towards their Knights here. It looks like they're going to be shifting right on back to capture their Knights, seeing it's a safe play. And they want to defend the top Knights as well that have been captured for ESV, or excuse me, for even.
Okay, so
Symbiote Gaming.
Yeah.
Third time.
There we go. So I like the way that they approach that. So even though I said that they had a really nice advantage, it looks like they're going to go up and actually get very, very aggressive. I'm surprised to see this.
In this positioning, though, I mean, the Impale and the Burrow Charge from Dreadnought is really terrifying. Wildfire is respecting that, saying, look, you know what, is this worth us throwing this? We're going to actually just kind of sack this top fort. They're going to try to defend it, but its fort will fall either way. Dreadnought, all members of SMG are in position. This is what they need to do. They need to flip it here. Huge shock and awe, but the Divine Storm goes down as well. Dreadnought in the front line on Iacona. We see Soldier's going to fall from this precision strike. Nicely done. Iacona taking a lot of damage. She's going to fall to the Burrow Charge. Techie boosting on out here, and Wargreymon is really low. The Ghost actually hitting the heels. He's going to live. The Ghost with their having value. Nicely placed precision strike, but that was a really, really huge win for SMG. They got the double Knights. They got a fort. They got 3 kills for 1. That's exactly what they needed. They're back in this game. They're now down only 1 level. They got a Dragon Knight. This is going to be 2 forts for them.
Yeah.
We'll see if they go crazy ham.
Sure.
I don't know if they're going to try to get a keep out of it. I think the play safe.
I imagine they will take 2 forts, yes. There was just so much hesitation in that last fight. I mean, like I was mentioning before, the positioning obviously is really, really important for SMG to set up and win those team fights, but they were 2 levels ahead. Almost 3 at the start of the fight.
But still, you have to respect the level 16. At that point, Dreadnought has Rewind.
He does.
He can double Impale and double Burrow Charge.
So they also have Berserk on Raynor.
Right.
That just almost doubles his damage output in a team fight. So of course. But I like the execution that Wildfire was having at the beginning of the game. The team fights were just so solid. Everything was smooth. They transitioned into the stuns very nicely.
But you've got to fall back and remember, seasoned marksman on 2 players. Their damage scales throughout the game. They continue to get more and more scary, and especially with Rewind on a new Barak, it's just a pretty terrifying factor you have to consider. This is, in that sense, a late game composition.
Right.
And they were in position. I agree with Wildfire's decision to not commit on the Knights there. Beautiful precision strike at the very end of the phase there for it. Oh my god. The Judgment comes down, another precision strike. Dreadnoughts can be removed from the fight as well. 2 kills. Wildfire is on the aggression. Dragon Knight expiring in 8 seconds, so Arthlon is just going to use it to get on back home. A lot of KO, taking a lot of damage. The heal goes down, and he's actually going to be able to live through this. Arthlon trying to get the last punch before the Dragon Knight expires. Doesn't really get much done with it, but still 40 seconds on 2 players. This keep is in a bad spot.
That was that's the type of execution that I was talking about that they were playing earlier in the game. They hit level 20 and said, okay, now we've got all these upgrades. Triple Resurgence. Okay, so they can get super aggressive. That's the type of play that I was looking for earlier. And so, okay, it's fine. You know what? They played a little bit passively. Look at the position that they're in now. Triple Resurgence, of course, they can go into any team fight.
There's the loss. Big stun going down right away. Arthlon taking a lot of damage. Iacona is going to fall here. Pickle's going to fall as well from that shock and awe. Very nicely done. Wargreymon, super low. Banshees on the hunt here. World Banshees get the kill here on Wargreymon. We see another kill. The Banshees actually have fallen here. Boom in the front line. Mad Timmy going to take a ton of damage. He's going to fall from that as well. Boom's going to die to this, but Resurgence is here. Level 20 is already acquired. It's still 19 for SMG. Wargreymon falls as well. No big deal. Now Techie taking a lot of damage. Does Techie have Resurgence as well?
Nope.
He does not.
Oh no, sorry. Yes, he does.
He does have
Yep,
it.
yep.
He does have it. So Techie does have.
That's
Resurgence.
surprising. That well, I can understand it. They're sort of going for a resurgence type comp here.
Yeah, it's definitely a Resurgence Cup. Abusing the ability that how strong Resurgence is right now. They have 3 Resurgences available on their team. An Assassin with Resurgence, I believe he's the only one in the game right now. Now, I know that Thrall will have Resurgence, but I think that it's actually just Hammer. He's a specialist technically.
Yeah. In terms of damage output, yeah. If you want to consider Hammer and Assassin, yeah, I guess you could say that. Gazlo too for specialist, Lily I think as well. So there are a few others, but
well, Lily's a support. So
I gotta say I really like how SMG they position themselves so well to cut their losses. I'll say in terms of that fight around the core. There was a lot of mistakes that could have been made that would have just completely ended the game, and they played it so perfectly in terms of their positioning, making sure that if somebody was going to die, it was the right person with Resurgence, etc. So hats off to that the game didn't end right there, because it certainly could have with one misplay.
Well, we see SMG is all positioned very defensively here. 4 Giants here in the bottom lane available for it. ESV Wildfire. Big shotgun goes down, but not going to be enough. Storm Shield use immediately. Level 20 is acquired here for SMG. A lot of damage going down. The huge precision strike going to drop Dreadnought. Dreadnought has fallen, but he has Resurgence to be back up in just a few seconds. Soldier doing a lot of damage in the front line. Boom. Gonna be having to fall back here a little bit. The Judgment goes down, followed by the immediate precision strike, but he falls out just in time. He does fall though. KO pretty low. Arthlon needs to be careful because Boom is in the front line. Wargreymon is going to be getting a little bit, he's the scary thing right now. Wargreymon's got the combo ready. He's ready to delete someone from the match. And
he didn't have Resurgence there.
He did not. Wow, that's huge. Having that Tyrael fall, Boom is actually going to be out of the fight for a little while here. And Pickle's taking a lot of damage from this as well. He should have Resurgence available.
Yes, he does. Yeah, he has it up. Okay, so do they get aggressive here? Do they try to push an advantage? They don't really have the health pools to do it.
Yeah, they're all so low. They're all so low. False Head flying in. This means they're going in. KO. That was a little bit cheeky to do that. That's a really big stun by Dreadnought, though. The Divine Storm really helped them stay in there, helped them stay alive and not lose that entirely. It removed Dreadnought. Also, does not have Resurgence available. Wargreymon is going in here. We see double bolts coming out. Arthlon needs to throw down the Q. He does get it. Very nice. Very nicely done.
Wow, I like the execution there from SMG. They had their stuns timed out very well so they could KO could get in there and get a ton of damage in. Very well played. They only ended up losing Dreadnought for that. But they do move up, and of course they have map control, so they're going to take the Dragon Knight. I'm curious to see what their plans are for this. There's a little hesitation right now.
I don't know if they know what their plans are right now. As Techie's just he's just going to clean up this wave, and then push on down, waiting for his team to come in. Now they don't have their heals for another 20 seconds, so they can't get too aggressive. They don't have Dreadnought on the side of SMG, so it's 4v4. Wargreymon, if he falls here, that is huge. That is a massive play. Very nicely done by Matt Timmy, going there with a barrel lunge. Secure that kill. Pickles, the lust goes down. The huge shotgun off Pickles is very low. Can they remove him? That's a big play. Removing him. He gets no value out of his heroic. Nicely done. Techie taking a lot of damage. So the offensive bolt by KO going in. The punt not going to matter too much here as there's still three members bearing down on this Dragon Knight. This Dragon Knight's going to get 0 value. Poom has to just fall back. He knows he can't save his ally here. As Techie's just going to see what he can get done.
He has Resurgence, I'm
here
sure.
He is.
So.
Yeah, they're keeping them busy. But again, he's going to do as much damage as he can as my game decides to lag for a brief moment. Just to capture that moment there. The stun goes down, saying, you can't touch our core. Get out of our game. But Resurgence still available here. Knights being captured on the side of ESV Wildfire. And we see all the members of Symbiote Gaming just funneling through the map right now. Clairvoyance going down right at the Dragon Shrine, and they're just backing right on up. They're saying, this is not worth it. There's only 2 of us here. Dreadnought goes in with a burrow charge. Not sure what's happening with the lag in this game, guys, but hopefully it clears itself up. So
again,
far,
same position. They're getting aggressive right on their Knights. They feel confident here. I like this. Okay, so they take the Knights, and do they plan on pushing out with it? I don't see why not. Let's just line up, and it looks like Wildfire is a little bit hesitated. Pushing in from okay, they're going to go onto the Death Bridge. Of course, we like to dub at that because of the super narrow chokehold right there.
We saw Dread use his heart to get on out of there, so we're not going to see anybody get too greedy. Soldier just going to keep kind of posturing across the map, see if he tries to do anything interesting here, but it doesn't look like it. All 6 giant camps available, both teams rotating down respectively. The double zoom
I think once each team sees that they've taken their respective giants, we may end up seeing a scuffle down at the bottom giants.
Absolutely. I mean, that's kind of like the thing that's available on the map right now.
Yeah.
All the night camps have been taken. About 40 seconds left on the SMG side, night camp on the blue side. And we have all the members here available, all 10 members alive. Heroics, pretty much everything's up. 3 seconds left
unless, that's going to be the trigger for them. If they see the positioning is right, perhaps if Dreadnought dives in, gets good stuns on a few people, they're just going to go. They're going to flip the switch and they're going to go right in and start dealing that damage out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the burrow charge shock and awe has been working out every time we see that pair go. Actually, SMG just trying to bait the Knights out here.
They got to know they're down there, though.
I mean, Clairvoyance is available. They should have Clairvoyance, but there it is. So they know what's going on. Wow. But the Lust goes down. We have the burrow charge going in. Icona getting deleted immediately. Dreadnought taking a lot of damage here, but he does have rewind burrow charge. Goes in again, doing a lot of damage. He doesn't even fall for it. He has to use Judgment, and he falls for it. Boom going down. Pickles going down. 4 members still alive here for SMG, and all 5 members have fallen. Now 2 Resurgents are available. Arthas and Tyrell are back up.
Oh, 3 back.
3 back, excuse me. Hammer as well. Arthalon going to be able to take out this fort, and SMG
they're immediately splitting up so that they can take both the shrines and get a quick dragon.
Instantaneous. Flew up here immediately by KO. Dragon Knight on Dreadnought immediately.
I like it.
And, Dreadnought died. He had his Resurgence, immediately ran to the Dragon Knight, and they're going to go for this top keep here.
That last fight was so weird. The position that they were in, that really small chokehold, as soon as I saw them pop Bloodlust, I put my hands over my head. I was like, what are they doing?
Yeah, they just went for it. It was Bloodlust Burrow Charge. Like, that's a thing now, apparently.
Okay, you have Divine Storm from Uther. You have Precision Strike from Nova. It's like you're putting yourself in a position where it's like, we're going to take a lot of AoE damage right now. I was surprised to see that they came out on top of that.
And the Judgment on Dreadnought when he was almost dead was an interesting call. I mean, Dreadnought's doing a lot of work, but you need to remove KO. You need to remove one of the damage dealers.
Look at this. Are they doing it?
This is the SMG. They're throwing down Storm Shield. All 5 members of ESV Wildfire are available. They're saying, no, we can end the game right now. Oh my goodness, we're actually seeing it. 2 members go down for SMG, but they said, look, we got a 25-minute Dragon Knight. Good luck stopping it.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. The Divine Storm at the end, I was surprised that he didn't move up to the top side of the core there just to at least stun some people. I think he only hit 1 person at the bottom. The position was not really the best for them, of course, at that point. I'm not really sure what they could have done. It had to stop the Dragon Knight. Of course, once you start hitting 23 plus, Dragon Knight starts hitting really, really hard.
Yeah, really hard is an understatement. The guy is just a truck. I mean, we've seen people just walk across the map at the 35-minute mark and just be like, yeah, we're just going to end the game now because we have the Dragon Knight. And we see the same thing with the Garden Terror. We actually saw that versus Team Liquid as Cloud9 walked across the map with the Garden Terror. When they were down a map, they're just like, you know what? We're just gonna go smack your core a little bit. It's like a little sandcastle. We're just gonna smack it down until it's done, and it worked out for him. So yeah, the Dragon Knight really strong there, really nicely done. I mean, like you said, that initiation at that bottom shrine where SMG did that loss.
Yeah, there was so much that could have gone wrong there,
but it didn't.
None of it
the
did.
burrow charge was just perfect.
Yeah,
it was exactly where it needed to be. And you have that lusted in Uberak. That thing just doesn't stop. He's just running at you. He's a big beetle, just like. He's going to destroy your maple trees, that Japanese beetle. He's just going to wreck your maple trees, and they're just going to be gone. And Dreadnought just going on. And well, guys, we're gonna get ready for game 2.
Yep.
We're gonna figure out the map here for the second map. This is a best of 3 series, so we'll have game number 2 in just a moment, guys.
Yep. Stick with it.
All right, guys, we are back here with Kings of the Storm 3, round 2, game 2.
Game 2. Round 2, game 2. Garden of Terror.
ESV Wildfire, Symbiote Gaming.
Yep.
Same series. The draft is just about to begin here. They're actually we got our first ban.
Yeah, that is out of SMG. That is Nova.
As Corey writes it down.
I know. Yeah, I gotta.
He's so organized. The pen and paper.
And we see a ban for Tychus out of Wildfire. Interesting.
So
you know what? I understand it completely because they were getting so much value out of that Nova early game.
It's smart.
It's very smart.
It's really smart, and
could also be a bit of a throwaway, but it's smart in the sense too because like if they're not banning out one of the stronger heroes, then it works out so that they can maybe get some specific comps that they're looking for. So next we see picked up is an Arthas Abathur.
Okay.
Out of Wildfire. Interesting.
And well, I like the first pick, Tassadar, coming out of SMG here. It's pretty safe. And then Arthas Abathur, very, very strong.
Yeah, I was definitely expecting to see an Abathur, because just the map is just so huge. Like it's gonna go to late game for sure, and he gets so much value just being across the map all the time, and just laying down those locust nests. We're gonna see the game probably go to late game. And certainly something I was expecting to see, almost so much so that I was expecting a ban from him. So maybe SMG has a plan to deal with Abathur. We'll see.
Well, we have SMG actually grabbing Anubarak and Falstad again, so it's a pretty similar composition here. I mean, we saw the Anubarak in every game so far, both games, different teams playing, but we see Anu paired with Falstad because you get that burrow charge followed by the Shotgun coming out of Falstad, and Tassadar will be them again. So this is, so far, an identical build to Game 1 for SMG, but we're going to be seeing Abathur on the other side of things here for Wildfire.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
The wise words of Mr. Tim Trickslayer Frazier. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Or if it ain't fixed, don't broke it.
If it ain't fixed, don't broke it.
If it ain't fixed, don't broke it.
Oh my goodness.
So many good quotes coming out of that BlizzCon tournament. It was really quite awesome. But a noob Falstad, again, very standard stuff, and Vala Brightwing is what Wildfire is gonna respond with.
Okay.
Honestly, I like this because when you have a Anubarak diving on in like that, I think they're gonna be running Emerald Wind.
Yeah. They saw how the team fights were going, and it was basically you got the Anubarak in there with the stunts. Everyone follows up with the Bloodlust. Not necessarily going to be the same comp, but they're obviously scared of the initiation capabilities that Anubarak has. So, hey, why not throw a Brightwing in there? I would be very surprised to see them take Blink Heal here. No reason why you wouldn't take Emerald Wind just to get that super disengage, possibly pull Anubarak out of position, just eliminate him immediately, and go on to do other things. Of course, they have that Abathur, so anything they can do to stall the game out a little bit.
What? Kerrigan, that is a rare pick.
Kerrigan is not picked too often.
It's a rare pick, and Arthalon actually really enjoys Countess Kerrigan. I was actually playing with him the other day as Kerrigan. He's just like, okay, you got her to 5, now buy the skin. I was just like, all right. He says if you're not playing Countess Kerrigan, you're playing her wrong. He really loves that skin. But you know what? I'm actually really excited to see Arthalon playing Kerrigan because Arthalon, I just like his play in general, but his Kerrigan is really solid. And we got one pick remaining here for Wildfire, but this is going to be the draft. We're seeing Malfurion. Now, obviously, Primal Grass coming out of Kerrigan, and you follow that up with the root from Malfurion. It's
they have a lot of stun potential for sure. It's other than that though, there isn't a crazy amount of synergy between. They're just all sort of all around good heroes to pick. So that's fine. That's not necessarily going to be in a detriment, especially for a game that's going to go as long as Garden of Terror is for sure. I'm curious to see what their last pick is going to be. So we already have an Arthas, a Anubarak. Okay. It could be something crazy like an Asmodan maybe, if they're just looking to get disengages and they want to just drag the game out and do super push strategies. I have a feeling it's going to be something strange.
I wouldn't suggest that in Garden, though, because we've seen teams try to do that in Garden. Yeah. Diablo!
Wow!
Yes! Poom is going to be playing Diablo. I get my wish. I get my wish. Now,
Double tank.
Just to finish my thought
go ahead.
on Garden of Terror, the Garden of Terror has so much power in removing pushes like that. The actual map objective completely just removes any kind of big push. You throw down one W with the Garden of Terror, and it just cleans up the biggest
you're
wave
right about that. That's very, very
on
true.
Garden of Terror, not really we've seen teams just try it and it just fails. It can work, but it's it's too risky on a map like Garden Terror. So Poom gonna be playing Diablo here. Now you say 2 tanks. I think we're actually gonna see Lightning Breath. I actually think we're gonna see Lightning Breath.
They're definitely lacking in the damage department, and that's what I'm a little bit worried about right now.
Look at that skin. He is about as fierce as it gets. Players are ready. SMG ready. We're just gonna ask. Oh, 7-5-8-5. SMG ready.
What is that
I
code?
type.
One sec.
See,
Okay.
this is why you don't start games.
Of course.
Because they're not ready yet.
Dread being cheeky as usual. All right, so I really want to know how they're gonna work the damage in. Vala is gonna have to be so on point with the strafes. I would say that this pretty much forces her into taking strafe.
Yeah.
And then if we look at the other composition, you have a lot of interrupts. You have Kerrigan can pull, can stun. Actually, that's about it. So I can understand that. Oh no, Anubarak. Anubarak has a ton of stuns on it too, so it's risky. If they can shut the Vala down, strafe-wise, it's going to be very difficult for them to take team fights, in my opinion.
I mean, it is indeed, but you have yet to experience the Diablo Lightning Breath.
The Lightning Breath, yeah.
We definitely could see the other heroic come out. The name is evading me
Apocalypse.
right now.
Apocalypse, yes.
But yeah, we have our match ready to roll here, and we're gonna get the overlays up and pretty. Look at Dreadnought just kind of bugging out there like a bug. I like it here.
Bugging out like a bug. How appropriate.
Well, we see the Money Pig is actually hidden underneath the cloak of
that's
Kerrigan.
so good. Still, though, I love it.
It's beautiful.
All right, let's introduce our teams.
What? Do you hear the audio like double?
A little bit of an echo there. Yeah, it's kind of strange. Maybe the computers aren't synced up somehow? I don't know.
Your computer shouldn't be providing any audio.
You're right. Okay, anyway, so on SMG we have, of course, Arthlon on Kerrigan, Dreadnought again on the Anubarak, Soldier on Tassadar. Top lane we have Falstead is, I will guess, KO, yes. And bottom, Mad Timmy on Malfurion.
On the other side of the map, we have Wargrey Mon playing as Vala. Instead of Nova this game, Iacona rocking the Brightwing. Poom going to be playing the Black Diablo. Techie rocking Abathur. And Pickle's going to be playing as Arthas here. Hopefully that echo is corrected at this point, because I've actually never heard that. But we're going to see the match continue on right on here. We have Abathur in the middle lane here with Poom, and Poom's just kind of hanging out, see if he can get anything cheeky done.
Okay, I'm noticing that Vala looks like she's going to be going an auto attack build. Probably will end up taking, I think she's got Rancor, I want to say that's the level 1 talent, and then probably Manticore on the next tier. Following that, we'll see most likely Battle Momentum.
Oh my goodness, the lockdowns here, the Primal Grasp, and then the stun from Dreadnought, the double stun. Soldier going to try to body block the best he can, bring down the Storm, but the Shadow Charge knocking him out of the way. Abathur clone, or Abathur hat, not going to be enough to save him here. And nicely done by SMG, a nice early gank now. This is not League of Legends First Blood, doesn't mean all that much, but it's still nice either way.
Yeah, it just almost puts the fear into the other players and say, hey, you know what? We're rotating around. We saw what you were doing. You can't hide from us. We're gonna get in there and we're gonna eliminate you if you're overstepping your bounds even just a little bit. We do see there's one bribe on each team. KO has bribe on Falstad and Iacona on Brightwing. 2 of the super mobile heroes, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it just collected a lot of seeds here. Both teams, just SMG's got the bottom half, and in the top half we see that Wildfire got 24 seeds up there. Slight advantage for SMG, 6 seeds up right now. But it doesn't matter too much at this point. And SMG going immediately for this Garden Terror. Wildfire sees it going on here, and they're shifting down. Poom's going to be reacting. And but with 4 members of SMG, this is a rough spot for Wildfire to try to contest this. Just putting Dreadnought back into his place with his team, flipping on him over. Poom saying, you know, get on your side. You belong over there. And Poom going to be trying to tank this here, but 4 members again of SMG posturing. They did a nice job. Obviously, you have to take into consideration that Abathur hat is effectively a 4th player. So it is 4-4 in that regard. But SMG is just going to try to do this. Now, Poom might go for that Shadow Charge right as the Dragon Knight dies.
Oh my goodness.
The Terror dies.
So
he
risky.
goes on in. He's taking a lot of damage, and the Burrow Charge goes down, locking him down. Poom is going to fall.
About that.
Seeds.
Yeah,
they got 6. They got 6 seeds from that entire engagement.
That's okay. That was what I was going to point out before they started posturing for that fight. The position that SMG was in. Now, if both teams decide to split the map and just take seeds on each side, it ends up at 90-90. And of course, you need 100 seeds to get a terror. But the way they were in, the position that they were in, they could have taken the full seeds from the bottom Terror and then rotated up and just grabbed a few, and they would have had themselves a Terror while the other team would not have.
Well, Arthlon taking a lot of damage. He's actually going to fall here very, very quickly as Boom got in the front line and Pickles on Arthas. Just a lot of lockdown. They got enough seeds for their Terror. I actually don't think enough seeds are going to be gotten here. Nope, 79 seeds acquired for ESV.
They played that out very well.
So nicely done by SMG. Kills pretty even. Levels almost dead even. A slight advantage here for Symbiote Gaming. Obviously, the levels don't matter all that much before level 10, but of course 7 does in fact give a talent advantage.
So typically the talents taken at level 4 aren't super impactful, but we're seeing some weird things. One on SMG, double healing ward hype. Love it.
Double healing ward hype, he says. Now they don't stack. They do not stack. But you can space them out.
Right.
And there's a lot of value in having
Okay. And then the second thing that I'm noticing is Wildfire has taken double promote. Double promote. Brightwing has promote, and Abathur has promote. They're looking for the late game.
Yeah,
we're gonna look to see them.
Oh my goodness! Iacona, a little far forward, just gets deleted from the game. This Terror just says the gates are open. Just walking on in like a Hearthstone card, doing what he can on this top fort. The gates are in fact open now, and yeah, they're gonna poke down as well. The first healing ward is down as they're gonna continue to sustain here. Brightwing, of course, being able to phase shift back into the fight, so Iacona is right back in the battle. But this fort is going to be a quick set, and the Terror still is 20 seconds, so they can keep poking around with it.
They're doing work right now. They are doing work. Okay, so Vala didn't actually go the build that I was expecting. She ended up taking, I think it's the extra damage on multi-shot, tier 2, and then searing attacks on level 7. So that's a bit strange. I still imagine that she has to go strafe, but I'm not sure. This build seems to be dividing between auto attack and whether you want to go spell damage on that multi-shot or not.
That fort lives to see another day, or that tower, just barely. Arthalon going down here to the Giants, going to grab them. She's grabbing the Zergling. I actually don't know a lot about Kerrigan builds, and it's going to be really interesting to see the way that gets played. Very unlikely that we'll see the Ultralisk in this match. Obviously, Maelstrom is very strong in the general talent we see as. The thing with Ultralisk that a lot of people don't like about it is the fact that you cannot control the Ultralisk. You cannot target where it goes, and it likes to just kind of attack randomly. Right. It's not something we see.
Sometimes it's really useful. Sometimes you'll get body blocks with it. Other times, it just kind of wanders off, does its own thing, just goes off to the other lanes. I'll just go, push this tower, and it's like, hey man, I need you. We're trying to have a team fight here. What are you doing?
Well, we see Wildfire just kind of moving back here defensively. They know that a lot of members of SMG are in the bottom part of the map. Dreadnought waiting. If they came down the middle of the lane here, if they walked down right like that, Dreadnought was going to get a big stun down on them. But they took the safe path, rightfully so. And that's not going to be happening. Dreadnought having a burrow charge right on out here. Level 10 has been achieved for SMG, and they are going in hard. Iacona is very low. Shotgun has been used. Maelstrom goes down. Boom is going to fall here. Arthlon goes in on Iacona. The Brightwing is going to fall pretty much immediately from that with KO diving in and bolt. Arthlon just jumping on in with Kerrigan. This fort is going to fall. We've got Mercenaries pushing the top lane for SMG. They're really dominating the map. Level 10 still hasn't been achieved for Wildfire.
I really like the position that SMG has taken this game. They can see that they're looking for a late game strategy with the double promote, with Abathur, Brightwing probably going Emerald Wind. Everything is pointing towards let's stall this game out for Wildfire. Look how aggressive SMG is playing right now. They're saying, hey, we're going to take this level lead early if we can, and they've certainly been playing the map properly to do that by taking that early plant Terror. And then on top of that, they're getting aggressive. So, we just hit level 10, we're just going to dive on into this. And all the heroes that they all have these diving, stunning capabilities that can secure team fights. And I really think that's the best way to handle this strategy that Wildfire is employing right now.
Well, we see SMG already cleaned up the seeds on the bottom half of the map, and we have Wildfire grabbing the seeds in the top half of the map. Level 12 is here, 2 levels up for SMG at this point in the game.
You guys like Lightning Breath? I love Lightning Breath. Jake, do you like Lightning Breath?
It's here!
We got that Lightning Breath.
Well, Army of the Dead has been popped here by Pickles. He's in the front line. He's going to sustain a lot of damage here. They're not going to want to put his focus on them. SMG actually just opting to back up here, noticing they're in a choke, and that they got split up, so they're backing up a little bit. We see the members are trying to rotate down here. Mad Timmy running around the back. Doesn't want to get stopped in the front there. Army of the Dead is, again, still up, but it's not going to last that long. We see it on the clone here. Double Arthas available. A lot of sustainability. And SMG's just going to try to wait out Army of the Dead. Used a little bit preemptively, going to wait it out, and we see that those guys, the ghouls are falling here, and SMG's going in. Techie That's just the After clone. It's going to be falling. These seeds going to be stolen. Now, they got enough. We see that Plume's actually going back. Likely going to be grabbing this first Dragonite here for the Wildfire side of the game. Yep, there he grabs it here.
Right.
There is a Dragon or a Terror available, and it looks like Arthlon will be the one opting to go on, grab their Terror to basically Rock'em Sock'em Terror in the middle of the map here.
I like that even though they both secured plant terrors, it was good on SMG to get super aggressive in terms of taking more seeds. They want to make sure that they can keep this pressure going. So essentially what they're going to be doing is they're going to be trading terrors here. We'll see if one team gets an advantage in fights or not. But as soon as this one's done, we're going to see, we can already see it, almost 50 seeds for SMG. So they're just keeping that advantage going. As soon as this fight's over, they only have to take a couple more seeds to get the next one. Wildfire is going to have to put a lot more work in.
Yeah, well, we see both the Terrors are just Rock'em in the way in the front here. You gotta watch out for those polymorphs. Match him is actually gonna get poly here. It makes these battles like really different. It has a confident watch. Big Shock'em actually hits nothing, but the Brightwing's gonna fall anyways to the massive damage coming out of the Terror. And
so aggressive. I love it.
I thought he was actually kind of stuck. I thought the Terrors were actually stuck there for a brief moment. Again, a lot of aggression coming out of SMG here. Like you said, it's a late game composition. And Poom is a little far forward, using the Lightning Breath, a bold decision. SMG all just walk forward and say, we can deal with that, come on. And they just blow him up pretty quickly.
Jake,
Terror hits surprisingly hard.
Do you think Rewind's a pretty good talent?
I think it's a pretty okay talent.
Pretty good talent. SMG seems to agree. They're going to have 4 Rewinds on their team. 4 Rewinds.
Oh my god.
I can almost guarantee you Dreadnought is going to take Rewind at 16. Of course, I think Nubarak's the only hero right now that has Rewind on 16. But Kerrigan, Malf, and Falstad all have Rewind.
Oh, that's the most disgusting thing I've ever heard.
So many stuns, so many roots.
Oh my goodness, the Twilight Dream getting maximum value, hitting 3 members, enough to get the kill on Pickles here. Dreadnought's taking a lot of damage. A Shadow Charge into the core is going to be able to get out, and doesn't have Rewind, so he can't actually get out. Burrow Charge. They almost hit 16. If he hit 16, he would have reactively just grabbed Rewind immediately and Burrow Charged that out, probably living. But 16 has not been achieved yet here for SMG. Still huge to get a keep. Already 10 minutes into the game on Garden Terror, which for a long time was our longest map. And a keep has already been done. We just had a 25-minute match between these guys on Dragon Shrine.
Yeah.
And
Avatar is he's throwing his hands up. He's like, guys, we need to get to 16 so that I can actually, start pushing these lanes out. It's like really.
They have no fear of this Lightning Breath. Lightning Breath really isn't working out for him at this point. As much as I like to see it, it seems like Apocalypse might have been a better option. But like we said, they need that damage. They really genuinely need that damage.
They really do.
So they're in a tough spot here. I mean, SMG's draft, Kerrigan is looking beautiful.
Yeah.
She's just, every time that somebody's out of position, she's waiting. She's not initiating. She's letting Dreadnought do the initiation, and then she's just taking her moment to just remove someone by the fight, going in and just deleting it from the match. Falstad following up with her. They can both just dive in and just erase someone.
And they have so much AoE on top of that too. They have Shock and Awe, they've got Storms, AoE damage on Archon, Maelstrom. It's just with all the stuns on top of that and the roots, it's like, all right, you guys are going to just stand there. We're going to make sure of that, and then we're just going to jump in and just do a ton of AoE damage. And since Wildfire doesn't really have the damage output to start picking those targets off, they're just kind of throwing their hands up like, I'm not really sure how we can actually pick these fights, honestly. So they have to look, I think, to start taking, just stalling the game out, but avoiding fights as much as possible.
I like this call by SMG. They take the 2 small camps and they immediately shift up. A lot of teams will just go for the big plant terror. And SMG said this is what they're going to expect us to do. They're going to expect us to split the seeds. Let's take the fight to them. A big Burrow Charge going in. Strafe getting maximum value right now by Wargame. Very nicely done. The Emerald Wind goes down, but doesn't really get the kind of disruption they need here. The first healing ward is down. All members of SMG are just healing up. Arthas is already down, and having Arthas, which is supposed to be their hyper-sustained player, be down already.
Melted,
I mean, this is an opportunity to just collect all the seeds on the map.
This is exactly what I was talking about before. They put themselves in a position where they can have a good chunk of seeds already going towards the next terror. And then you get into the next fight, which is what we just saw there. They took the auxiliary camps on bottom really quickly, and they're just saying, we want to deny the other team's seeds. We don't really necessarily need the seeds right now. We want to make sure they don't get them, so we can just keep this pressure going, so they can try to end the game as quickly as possible before Abathur gets going with his pressure.
Well, this is interesting. We have Wildfire beelining it to the Terror here, but SMG is saying, you know what? We're gonna get the Knights.
Yeah. Even if they clear this
think
camp.
we're gonna be there. They think we're gonna be there. We're gonna get the Knights. Wait for our Terror to come here, and then we're just gonna kill you afterwards, or try to at least. So
you can only get 60 from the big plant. So SMG is like, oh yeah, you guys can do whatever you want right now. I mean, we'll take the seeds if you're gonna give them to us, but you guys can take that all you want, and you're not gonna get a Terror out of it. We've got a Terror though.
Now, if SMG did go straight to the Terror, they could have tried to take a 5v4 as the plant Terror was spawning and Arthon was walking across the map, but SMG just making the safe play, nicely done.
Sure, yeah.
And you can't fight with a plant Terror on you like that because the polymorph is just too powerful.
Too much value.
Just way too much value. Very short cooldown on that, and you can just continue to lock people out of the fight, disrupting them. Arthon pushing on forward here, and SMG in SMG fashion. They're not interested in the keep. They're interested in one thing, and that is the core.
It's the smart time to get aggressive. They say now is the best time for us to end this game. The longer it goes on, the worse it's going to be for us.
Oh my goodness, a big Emerald, or excuse me, Twilight Dream going down again there. Poom taking a boatload of damage. The Mule goes down. Gonna see if he can get a job today here, but no, he's not going to have too much work left as his job is going to be ruined, as this is game number 2 coming to an end.
They picked a strategy. They saw exactly what they were trying to do. They said, what's the counter to this? Oh, let's get aggressive. Let's push really fast. They did it, and they executed. And they kept it rolling the entire time. At no point was Wildfire able to shake that strategy up.
You know what didn't keep them rolling? Lightning Breath.
Unfortunately, there was maybe only one fight where he actually got some value, but then it's because he's so immobile.
It's unfortunate. It can work, and we've seen it work
yeah.
with Poom before, but SMG just said, look,
yeah.
if you do that, we're just going to remove you. They just It's just like, well, you can't leave. You actually just can't leave now, and we're actually just going to blow you up. And every single time, they would just shift targets and just delete him, because it has a lot of damage output if you leave him there.
Yeah.
But they didn't
know better than that,
didn't have something like Ancestral Healing. If they had Ancestral instead of Brightwing, if they could throw down that big Ancestral Heal onto the Diablo to keep him up, retain that value, you have that multi-tank build. If you had Diablo and double Arthas, when you consider the Abathur, that might have worked out better for them.
It comes down to making sure that the Diablo lives, and also the lockdown, which is something that they're sort of missing. Like sure, it has a pretty good AoE, but you got to make sure that they're staying in place for it. It's too easy to walk away from Diablo while he's doing that because he can't move while he's channeling. So you got to have some kind of scenario where you can lock the enemy team down. And just really, Arthas is slow. Maybe a really sick Emerald Wind from Brightwing, but other than that, you're really lacking that way to just keep the enemy team in place.
Yeah, I'm just Rhaegar wasn't banned out. He wasn't picked. I'm just really questioning why they thought. I mean, obviously, having Emerald Wind is huge, and having that disengage is huge. And maybe their goal was to just retain Abathur, push the lanes on Garden Terror throughout the game. Just push, take it to the late game, like you said. They have double promote, and just use the Abathur for the Emerald Wind. But SMG countered it so beautifully that they really saw through their strategy. They saw through what they wanted to do, and
it's possible that the Lightning Breath was just sort of almost to be used entirely defensively. They're just like, oh, if they're gonna decide to just push really hard on the fort,
what it was used.
I'll stand behind. But they just could never get enough value out of it. Just got erased so quickly.
Yeah. Well, guys, that does it for this series. That was round 2. So
well played to SMG.
Very well played by SMG. Very well played by Wildfire as well, though. I mean, game 1 they looked so good. I mean, they took Evil Geniuses. They fall to the losers bracket. They are not out of this event yet, so we could definitely see more out of them. They can definitely come back in this tournament. But a quick 13-minute Garden of Terror game.
That was fast.
We'll wrap up round 2. Now remember, twitch.tv/ZanderTheGamer and twitch.tv/KevinNaki both have matches going on.
Of course,
We're going to get prepared for the winners semis? Winners semis?
No, it's winners finals.
It's winners finals already? Wow.
Winners finals, yep.
8-man, 8-team tournaments. Winners finals, that'll be the next game we cast here, guys. We'll see as soon as it's ready, and once we have the match ready, we'll have whoever's up against Symbiote Gaming, so Symbiote advances to the winners finals.
It's either 2-arc or I'm blanking on the other team.
We can look at the bracket now. It's not fully updated as we do this manually here. We actually, I assume... Let me check challenge. Let's get the update here. And it looks like 2-arc advanced over ESV Tempest. So 2-arc Iliad versus Glorious is going on right now. I would imagine that's being streamed by Naki or Xander. So guys, go check that match out while we prep for the winners finals. We'll be back as soon as we possibly can. And thanks for sticking with us.
And that's it. All right, see you guys in a few.